Today, we will continue ranking every LEGO Ninjago season from unwatchable to absolutely incredible on tiermaker.com. And stick around until the end to participate in a little competition. Without further ado, let's go! Last week we closed out with Season 3, so let's pick it right back up at Season 4. One of many people's all-time favourite Ninjago seasons, and probably in my own top 3 favourites. This season is called Tournament of Elements, and it aired between February and April of 2015, and had a heap of accompanying sets in January that year. There is a good reason this season is regarded very highly by fans, and that reason is the season is simply fantastic. Basically, the ninja hear a rumour that their robotic friend Zane may not in fact have been completely annihilated at the end of the previous season, so they all visit an island owned by famed noodle maker Master Chen, where they're forced to compete in a mysterious tournament. Long story short, the island is run by a cult who want to steal the Elemental Master's powers and turn themselves into snakes, which they succeed in doing so, and then they have a huge battle before Garmadon sacrifices himself to save everyone. Nothing like a good old Ninjago sacrifice to save the day. And the season ends with a nice little teaser for the next season. There are many things to like about Season 4. Master Chen is a fantastic and hilarious villain. The new Elemental Masters are cool and the season is very entertaining to watch. Also, the reintroduction of Zane is nice, but it unfortunately does highlight Ninjago's inability to really kill off characters, though it makes sense why they did include Zane here. Lloyd and his father make for an interesting dynamic again in this season, and it's fun to see Cole work in the slave-run noodle factory before staging a breakout with the other workers. Jay and Cole's stupid love triangle is also still kind of here, which is annoying, but it's not nearly as bad as last season. And Kai actually has a love interest this time around, so Kai just acts like Kai, naturally. Dareth has some major plot relevance for the first time in this season, and Lloyd's mother and uncle just kinda do nothing. Oh yeah, and my main man Pythor is here in miniature mode, which was absolutely hilarious to see. This season also has a lot going on in it, especially towards the second half, but it's always one of the most entertaining to watch, especially with scenes like Kai's the Red Shogun. This was around the middle of what most fans would consider the golden era of Ninjago. The pilots of Season 1 and 2 are the classic era, and Seasons 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the golden era. I'm going to have to put this season up in the absolutely incredible category. It's always just such a treat of a season to watch, and I have very fond memories of the sets releasing back in 2015. Then we had Ninjago Season 5, which aired from June 29th to July 10th of 2015, with the sets releasing on June 1st. This is the first time we ever had 2 seasons and set waves a year, which would persist until 2022. Now you would think that making double the amount of sets and seasons a year would lead to lesser quality content, with more emphasis on quantity. That is fortunately not the case, because these double feature years brought us some of our best Ninjago seasons. 2014 to 16 was once again the golden era of Ninjago, and Season 5 in particular is always a great rewatch. Lloyd is basically offline for the majority of this season. His body is just used as a puppet for Morrow, but he does have an important role in the finale. Speaking of Morrow, he is one of the best Ninjago villains to date. We of course saw right at the end of Season 4 that he escaped the Cursed Realm, and now he's here to terrorise the ninja. I know, I say every Ninjago villain is great, but they really honestly are. They absolutely cooked with the bad guys in the first 8 or so seasons of the show. I think Hunted was the first time I actually didn't like the main villain. Anyway, back to Season 5, we had so much happen here, like the introduction of Ronan, a side character who is always just flipping between good and evil. It's very unclear which side he stands on, but he is very cool nonetheless with his flying wannabe Slave 1. We had Nia make her transformation from Samurai X to Ninja this season, which was cool. I love her outfit and her powers, but it didn't feel entirely necessary to me. I think it would have been fine if she had stayed as Samurai X. We got some great moments in possession, like Jay's hilarious line here.
I want to work with your master. Whoa, Lloyd's got through puberty.
Or Cole's transition to a ghost, which would persist for a further full season. And my favourite joke in this season is the fact that the Destiny's Bounty autopilot is an inflatable Dareth. All the ninja get their highlights in Season 5, like Zane speaking pirate or Kai's fear of water, that wasn't present in Season 2 and I guess is gone by Season 11. Jay is also just kind of Jay here, but at least he's always amusing. Oh yeah, and we also got the little tiny confirmation of Lego Chima's existence in this world, which is absolutely wild. And lastly, the sets and minifigures were fantastic this time around. Overall, Season 5 is always an amazing watch. Oh yeah, and I nearly forgot, the intro is fantastic, truly creative and stylized. I think I have to put this in the absolutely incredible tier. I know I'm being generous with my use of this tier, but I just can't praise this Ninjago season enough. Next was Season 6, which aired from January 1st to February 1st in 2016, and the sets released on January 1st, which I think may have been the first time the sets and the show dropped at the same time. Skybound has long been one of my favourite seasons. It brought us a very hilarious and wacky cast of characters, as well as one of the ninjas at the time most dangerous villains. I know the stakes are constantly getting raised in Ninjago, but I would say Natakan was their biggest threat by that point in time. An evil jinn, with the ability to grant people wishes, but twist them into doing what he wants. He is certainly a villain and a half. I love his crew of ragtag misfit pirates he brought along, like the smart right-hand man Flintlock, or the bumbling but funny buffoon Clancy, or the physically imposing Dogshank. All of these characters are really fun to watch whilst they're on screen, and they make for great minifigures as well. But the star of the season here is Jay, this being the first time he ever got a season focused solely upon him. It deals with his struggles of trying to reconnect with Nia, and also this season drops the biggest bombshell by revealing Jay's adopted, and that his true parents are the former Elemental Master of Lightning and the actor Cliff Gordon. His character development in this season is great, and the finale is fantastic. The latter half of Skybound even gave us one of my all-time favourite Ninjago episodes, Operation Land Ho. Skybound is not without its flaws though. The main sore point for a lot of fans of this season is the fact that it technically didn't happen. That's right, at the end they pull the whole "it was a dream" shtick, so canonically no one is aware of this having happened except for Jay and Nia. And personally, I don't really mind this decision. Yes, it's annoying, but in the context of this season it made sense why they did this, because it was a truly messed up situation by episode 10. If Jay hadn't made the wish he did, Nia would 100% be dead, countless people would be trapped inside the Jin Blade, most of the ninja would be basically dead, and Ninjago would be an apocalyptic wasteland ruled by an evil gang of flying pirates. I'm not really super happy about this ending or anything, but again, I don't really mind that they did it. Another flaw in this season is the character of Dareth. Up until that point, he had just been the quirky comedic relief character, but he actually turns into a really dislikable jerk in some of this season's episodes. Just says some really uncool stuff to Nia. I won't go in depth, just go watch it yourself. Kai is still a ghost here, and I appreciate the fact that he stayed a ghost for one full season, and they didn't immediately rectify that. Though since this is a Jay and Nia centric season, the rest of the team feel like they don't really get much of a spotlight, with each ninja only having a few noteworthy moments. Looking at the tier list now, I think this deserves a spot in the great category. And it's not absolutely incredible to the level of the seasons already in there because of the flaws I mentioned, but it is always a super fun rewatch, and the intro is a fantastic little teaser of what's to come as the episodes go on. I like the fact that ninja appear in the order they disappear in the show. It's the fun little details like that that really make me appreciate all the effort the writers and animators put into this franchise. And one final note, I love the Skybound suits for the ninja. They look really cool as minifigures. And before you go, I want to announce the next caption contest. Please leave in the comments a caption for this guilty looking image of Natakan. I will then pick some of the highlights and read them out in 1 or 2 weeks. Nothing inappropriate please, but the more unusual and funny it is, the better. This is where we shall leave off today until the next installment, where we will look at Day of the Departed, Hands of Time, Sons of Garmadon, and maybe the Ninjago movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to leave a caption for this image. That's been all for today folks, have a great day and see you next week.